اجتماع هيئات الموانئ البحرية تقام لأول مرة في الشرق الأوسط في أبو ظبي، وهذا فخر لنا. وهي عبارة عن 13 دولة مشاركة في هالاجتماع، تمثل قطاعات الموانئ البحرية العالمية المختلفة من شتى قارات العالم، وهي بتناقش فيها عدة محاور مختلفة. العنوان بيكون إعادة تصور الحقبة المقبلة للتجارة عالميا، وفيها فروع كثيرة من المحادثات بنناقش فيها التحديات اللي صارت، النمو، سلاسل التوريد، مختلف الأنشطة إن شاء الله بنناقش فيها، وبنطلع فيها بأفكار جديدة ونتعلم منها الخبرات اللي استفادوا منها خلال التحديات اللي واجهتهم خلال فترة الكوفيد إن شاء الله. مجموعة موانئ أبو ظبي تعتبر محرك بارز في مجال التجارة والخدمات اللوجستية في إمارة أبو ظبي، ومن مجموعة موانئ أبو ظبي تدعم رؤية القيادة الرشيدة في جعل أبو ظبي والدولة في مصاف الدول العالمية في مجال البحري. الحدث اليوم حدث بارز بيخدم قطاع الموانئ والهيئات البحرية في النظر إلى التحديات ومشاركة المقترحات اللي تؤول إن شاء الله إلى خدمة القطاع البحري أكثر وأكثر إن شاء الله في عدة مجالات. بنناقش اليوم في الاجتماع عدة مواضيع مختلفة تخص القطاع البحري، منها هي التقنيات المبتكرة، الرقمنة، إزالة الكربون، النمو، تبادل الأفكار، التحديات اللي واجهوها خلال فترة الجائحة، شو النظرة المستقبلية للقطاع ككل. وطبعا هاي كلها بتجي من خبرات موانئ عالمية مختلفة بتشارك 13 جهة، من سياتل في أمريكا، من أوروبا روتردام، أونترود، برشلونة، وعندك في من الدول العربية بيشارك الإمارات، السعودية، العراق، عمان، وشرق آسيا طبعا الموانئ الكبيرة بوسان، ومن اليابان، ومن شنغهاي وغوانزو، وبالإضافة إلى الجهة اللي هي راعية الموضوع هذا اللي هو سنغافورة، هم بعد بيشاركون في المجال.
The importance about the Port Authority Roundtable really is to gather a group of closely knit and like-minded partners together, where we want to discuss ideas as well as look at some of the collaborations that we can work together. So the key message that we want out of the Port Authority Roundtable is that we are a group of like-minded port authorities, where we will now look at what are some of the emerging challenges in the industry, discuss some of the collaborative effort, and more importantly, to send a message on how we can help in the effort to strengthen the global supply chain resilience and ensure that global trade continues to flow. There will be, say, threefold. One is really as a result of the pandemic. We have seen global supply chain disruption. We have seen vessels arriving off schedule and unscheduled. So the key is globally, the various port authorities to actually collaborate together to see how we can improve on the efficiency of the global supply chain. But more importantly, I would say there are three key areas we need to work on. The first is really in the area of digitalization. How do we ensure that the different parties are able to connect with one another, not just port clearance, but also on cargo clearance, allowing the goods to flow in a more seamless manner. The second, of course, many people talk about it, is on the effort of decarbonization. How do we move shipping, albeit contributing only to 3% of global emissions, towards further reducing emissions and working towards the IMO goals of 2050. We need to look at what's the future ship, what's the type of ship that we can cater for in future. We need to ensure that bunkering standards are actually available to handle the new fuels that's coming on board, whether it's ammonia, hydrogen, or in the future, what I would say, biofuel as well. And of course, the third challenge really is looking at the areas of disruption. Are there further disruptions when it comes to, for example, crew change, when it comes to, for example, public health regime? Are we able to come together to ensure that crew change continue to take place as well as goods continue to flow? So I would say three challenges in total. I don't have the actual figures at hand, but what we know that the global supply chain disruption is an amalgamate of various factors. So in the beginning, what we have was really port authorities in order to adhere to some of the public health requirements, right? Then the second is also with regards to ports having to cater to, for example, more ships coming off schedule and also off that are not scheduled and unscheduled to call on the port. But what I thought was very promising about the Port Authorities Roundtable, and I would like to make a pitch here, really is that during the pandemic, what Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore did was that we actually convened the Port Authorities Roundtable, which are discussing key agenda today in this conference, to look at how we could assure the world in terms of our commitment to keep our ports open. And that is a very important key message that port authorities need to send to around the world. So after the roundtable, and we decided to come up with a declaration to commit to keep our ports open 24/7, we commit to actually keep crew change going, and we've got 58 port authorities who came on board and signed on the declaration. It sent, during the onset of the pandemic, a very strong message that port authorities are working together to ensure our ports remain open. So for that, that is the key advantage and key benefit of a Port Authorities Roundtable, which we have convened, and we are very glad that it's being taking place this year now in Abu Dhabi, because it sends a strong signal in terms of the Middle Eastern role in maritime trade itself, and we do hope to see it continue to move forward as a globalization, we become more global and the trade are able to flow faster. So it will depend on quite a number of factors. It depends, it's a supply-demand question, right, when it comes to the fuel price. And I'm sure in the region, in the Middle Eastern region, you have a better grasp about the prices of the future. But what I would say is important is during this stage, as we move towards decarbonization efforts, while the fuel prices are high, it's something which the shipping industry and the consumers will have to see who bears the share of the higher prices. There's also geopolitical situation that's at play as well. So it depends on quite a number of geopolitical as well as supply chain sort of factors to determine what the fuel price will go up or down. Of course, now the fuel prices are high, but it depends on then, therefore, whether the supply can be ramped up, whether the demand globally, we are able to also lower down the demand, and more importantly, what's the geopolitical situation. And we hope that the prices can remain stable, as of course for the whole world, because prices get cascaded down, and at the end of it, it is the consumers who suffer, and it is the lower income who will suffer if the prices were to go up. So we are very glad that Abu Dhabi is the first Middle Eastern country to host the Port Authorities Roundtable, and being here in Abu Dhabi and also transiting through Dubai, we've seen the role of a hub that Abu Dhabi and Dubai is playing in in UAE as well as in the Middle East. Singapore and UAE enjoy very, very strong bilateral relations. We are both hubs in different regions of the world, and it is our role to ensure that whatever ships that cross in Singapore and in UAE, we are able to handle the different types of challenges moving forward. So in terms of collaboration, we really look forward to collaborate in the areas of digitalization and decarbonization. UAE is also an active member in the Straits of Malacca and Singapore. Straits of Malacca and Singapore carries 1/3 of global goods and containers. Therefore, it's an important strait, and we really welcome UAE's active participation in SOMS itself. And with that, we look forward to further enhancing the collaboration with UAE, and really glad to be here in Abu Dhabi, and really glad to see 14 port authorities gathering here physically and virtually for this roundtable that has started, and this is our 7th year edition here. No, I would say that we look forward to a successful conclusion of the roundtable. What's important is really for us to come up with ideas, especially in the areas of decarbonization and digitalization. How do we ensure that the goods flow more seamlessly? How do we ensure that we are prepared to move towards a future ship type of environment, whether it's ammonia or hydrogen? We've talked quite a fair bit about also domestic hovercraft electrification. There's a lot of question marks now when it comes to global trade, global shipping, and global maritime. And I hope that through this roundtable, we are able to move forward together as a group of like-minded, closely knit community, and look forward to discussions later.